We are really excited that today's video is sponsored by our awesome partner, Omaze again. We'll let you know how you can enter for your chance to win a 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance a little later in the video. Let's talk about the Model S, the longest running product in the Tesla lineup of vehicles, and still probably the most iconic electric car in the world. While it's remained largely unchanged over the past decade, Tesla seems to have the perfect sense of how to incorporate just the right upgrades at just the right times to keep this vehicle at the top of the game. Obviously, we know that the Model S Plaid is fast and people love to talk about that, but there is more to this car than just the numbers. In a lot of ways, the Model S is and has always been a window into the future of the auto industry. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today. So let's get going. Okay, let's get the obvious one out of the way first. The steering yoke control is really the biggest change that has been introduced to the Model S. It's a design that Tesla has thrown into concept vehicles and prototypes in the past, such as the new Roadster and the Cybertruck, but this is a big deal to actually have such a drastic change to a very familiar and ubiquitous vehicle control. The steering wheel was one of the few things that all vehicles had in common. No matter what kind of car or truck you get into, there would undoubtedly be a wheel in front of you, but no more. And the design has already started to spread to the rest of the auto industry. Now, all of a sudden, Toyota has a steering yoke in their new BZ4 electric SUV. This is one of those things that went back and forth across the internet for months before the car was even released. We wondered if Tesla was just trolling us. Would they actually release the yoke? Would they give buyers an option? Maybe this would just be exclusive to the Plaid. The speculation in the mainstream media went off the chart at the first sight of the yoke steering control. CNET published this headline, "Tesla's new steering yoke isn't retro, it's a safety risk." On January 28th, long before the production version of the Model S Plaid had even been released or anyone at CNET had even had the chance to try it, and another one from AutoWeek headlined, "Here's why Tesla's yoke-style steering may not be the best idea ever," written on February 10th, also long before the car was even released. But at least they were vague with what they were trying to say. Of course, it's not the best idea ever. No one ever said it was. If you try it and don't like it, sure, it's fine to have an opinion at that point, but even then, we're inundated with reviewers who tried the yoke for an hour or a day and either used the opportunity to reinforce the bias that they came in with, or just write it off as being weird and different without really taking the time to explore any deeper than that. Elon Musk has said that the acid test for a new interface is to use it for 2 weeks and see if you still want the old version. Elon said that after using the yoke for a few weeks, he didn't want a wheel anymore. It's kind of like if you've ever tried to switch from a Windows-based computer to a Mac or an Android phone to an iPhone. It feels weird and wrong and upsetting, but then you just get used to it and appreciate that difference doesn't always mean worse, it's just different. Anyway, when you start digging around for reviews on the Model S from people who have driven it for more than a day, or actually have owned it and used it for an extended period of time, then you start to see that it's really no big deal. The difference between watching a first-timer trying to navigate a tight turn with a yoke and watching an experienced user doing the same maneuvers is night and day. It's literally just a matter of adjusting your muscle memory. The biggest plus side that comes from the Model S users is not only how the yoke forces you into more safe and stable hand positions at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock, but also how your driving position is improved as well. It's basically impossible to use the yoke in a hunched over or slouched position, so your body is intuitively going to stay upright with shoulders back, and that's a much safer place to be if the airbag ever goes off in front of you. Losing that top half of the wheel also opens up a panoramic view of the car's display screens. This seems to be Elon Musk's favorite thing about the yoke, and we can understand why. It's Tesla's next big step towards opening up the vehicle experience beyond just straightforward the entire time. The introduction of the glass roof was a big part of that. It reminds you that there is a wide world out there in all 360 degrees of view. The horizontal center screen is another. It's setting us up for a day when the windshield isn't always the center of attention. Omaze has partnered with the charity, the Joey Logano Foundation, and by donating $10, you'll be entered for the chance to win a 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance. If the ability to win a Mach-E wasn't amazing enough, you also get to support an awesome charity. The Joey Logano Foundation invests in organizations that offer second chances to children and young adults during times of crisis. They strive to create supportive communities where all children and young adults are able to live with dignity in times of adversity. Using the public platform of motorsports, they raise awareness for young people in crisis and support innovative programs serving vulnerable youth. By the way, if you happen to win, you will be among the first to own an all-electric Mustang. With a maximum horsepower of 480, acceleration of 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and a range of 235 miles, you'll be driving in style in the future of Ford. To potentially win a 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance and support the Joey Logano Foundation, go to omaze.com/TeslaSpace or click the link in the description. We're wishing you the best of luck and hope one of you wins. Thanks again to Omaze for supporting the channel, and let's get back to the video. Okay, so we all know Tesla's claim very well that the Model S Plaid does 0 to 60 miles per hour in 1.99 seconds. That is amazing, and it's the first production car to ever be marketed with a sub 2 second 0 to 60. But how does that hold up in a real-world test? There are a few stipulations to actually reaching the maximum acceleration from a Model S Plaid. You can't just smash the accelerator from a stoplight and get the most out of it. The first thing that needs to happen is to activate the drag strip mode in the vehicle menu. Then you need to wait for somewhere between 8 and 15 minutes. During that time, the car will precondition the powertrain for hard acceleration, and that means getting the battery pack and the 3 motors to the optimum temperature through either heating or cooling. Then you need another 10 seconds to get the car into its cheetah stance. That means dropping the front suspension by 2 inches. This will reduce the amount of weight transfer that happens from the front to the back of the vehicle at the moment of launch. Remember that scene from The Fast and the Furious when the black Charger kicks up onto its rear wheels? That would never happen so dramatically outside of a movie, but the same concept does apply. The front wheels get very light, and since the Plaid gets 1/3 of its power from the front motor, it needs a solid contact between the front wheels and the road. Even with that extra tick, the Plaid is still traction limited when it comes to acceleration. With the stock tires and a regular asphalt road surface, the Plaid cannot accomplish 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds. It's physically impossible. There's just too much force and not enough friction. The only scenario where the Plaid lives up to its marketing is on a surface that's been treated with something called VHT. It's a kind of sticky resin that they put down at the starting position of drag racing tracks. They also include a 1-foot rollout, which basically just means they don't start counting until the car has traveled 1 foot. That sounds like cheating, but it's something that is widely used in acceleration tests by pretty much everyone in the business. It just helps to achieve a more consistent and comparable result between different cars and different runs. On a VHT treated surface with the rollout, the Plaid can actually achieve a 1.98 second 0 to 60 run, which is staggering and even better than advertised. But if you're just doing this on a regular asphalt street or even an untreated racetrack, then 0 to 60 is going to fall a bit behind that, but still not by much. This is where it starts to really depend on the driver and the road surface, but in real-world conditions, from a dead stop, the Plaid is reaching 60 miles per hour in around 2.3 seconds, give or take, and that still blows the doors off any other street-legal production car in the world. The Model S Plaid is actually able to create more G-force on acceleration than it is under full braking. Motor Trend measured a max acceleration force of 1.227 Gs at 32 miles per hour and peak force during the 60-0 braking test of 1.221 Gs. And that kind of brings us to the biggest downside on the new Model S, and that's the brakes. Both the Plaid and the regular S use the same set of brakes. They are not bad by any means, and they are fine for the regular Model S, but they haven't really proven to be sturdy enough to handle the Plaid Performance at high speed. There's a bit of funny business here because Tesla do advertise the Plaid with a top speed of 200 miles per hour, but then in the fine print they stipulate that they have nerfed the car in software to limit the speed to 163, which is still way too fast, but at the same time, disappointing. Apparently, you need special wheels and tires to hit top speed that are still not available at the end of 2021. But what is available right now for pre-order is a new carbon ceramic brake kit for the Model S Plaid with 21-inch wheels. This comes at a staggering price of $20,000, but these upgraded brakes will add a significant amount of stopping power to the car and inevitably make it much safer to drive at high speed, even at the limited 163 miles per hour. The kit includes all new carbon silicon carbide rotors, one-piece forged calipers with high-performance pads, and high-temperature brake fluid. The brake upgrade promises to deliver the ultimate track experience, mostly by maintaining consistent braking performance during high-performance driving. The carbon won't overheat and lose grip. Those should be available by mid-2022, so maybe the new wheels and tires will still come along by that time as well. If you want an idea of how dangerous that level of speed can be, the NHRA Drag Racing Association rules make the Model S Plaid illegal in its stock form. It's just too fast. And they regularly get kicked off of drag strips for exceeding the imposed limits. The drag racing regulations say that any car with a quarter-mile time of less than 10 seconds needs to have a roll cage, window nets, driver restraint systems, and a full race suit and helmet for the driver. They also say that any car traveling more than 150 miles per hour at the finish line of the race should have a parachute on the back to help slow it down. Now, obviously the Tesla has a much higher crash safety rating and much more advanced stability control system than the old muscle cars that these rules were written for, but it should still keep us humble to just how dangerous this kind of driving can be if we don't keep safety in mind. The fact that we haven't seen a whole lot more stories about people splattering themselves all over the road in a Plaid is a real testament to how safe and stable the car is, even in totally stock form. But what do you guys think? Has the new Model S lived up to expectations? Let us know in the comment section below. For more Tesla news delivered straight to your inbox, make sure to subscribe to our Tesla Space newsletter. We keep you up to date on all things Elon Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, Neuralink, and Boring Company in one quick and fun to read package. Link in the description to sign up. It's theteslaspace.com. And make sure to drag our emails over into your primary inbox so we don't get lost in the promotions tab. Also, don't forget to check out our new Space Race channel and subscribe over there for even more space exploration content. As always, if you want to continue to learn about everything regarding Tesla, SpaceX, and Elon Musk, we've got 2 more video options for you on the screen to check out. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up today if you liked it, and subscribe to our channel for weekly content just like this.